artist is Drake. I mean, he's in everything. He's versatile. He's able to kind of like that house album he made last year or 2 years ago, however long it was. People didn't like it at first.
I hate that album.
Really?
But I really like house music.
Okay.
Like authentic house music. And just to like double down on that point, Beyonce then came out with Act 1.
Yeah.
Right? And she stayed authentic to Vogue music. Like she went and researched it, got Vogue producers, and was like, no, we're going to do New York Vogue and house the way that it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I don't know if Toronto house is like that, or if Toronto has house music like that.
No idea.
But like, maybe you can speak to this a little bit if you want to, or at least just nod. Like, house music that derives from Chicago does not sound like Honestly Nevermind.
Yeah.
It doesn't even come close to it. Even though a lot of people. 100%. Like it just doesn't. And beach house, like when you go to house dance battles, and they usually play like soft beach house. It doesn't sound like Honestly Nevermind at all. Not even in the slightest. So like, and me as a former b-boy that would go and was around house dancers all the time, I put on Honestly Nevermind, and I'm like, dude, the production's whack. Like, it's just not. And it's or better yet, it's not that it's whack. It's just like, if this is a house album, it's a bad house album.
I don't even know if he ever labeled it house.
But he was going in that direction. Yeah, you know what I mean?
But it's like, but you can't tell me that you're like.
He was trying to show range, for sure.
For sure, but if you listen to the album, you can't tell me like you're not like, this is catchy. Really?
I am. Because there's real house music out there that is catchy as fuck.
For sure. If you're,
you know what I mean?
I know nothing about house music. It's not my my wheelhouse.
Right, yeah. But like, even if you go, like, even I think at one point somebody made, I don't know if it was him, but somebody made a statement about it. Like, I made a techno album and y'all didn't feel it or whatever. Go back, right? But even if you label it techno, that's bad techno.
That's not techno. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it would be the same as if you called it dubstep, and it's like, that's not dubstep, or like it'd be like, Euro tech or like Euro house. Like, all these genres are very carefully specified. It's like whenever you talk to a metal drummer or like somebody that listens to metal music, and they're like, oh, I like this band, that's like metal as fuck, and they're like, that's thrash. To a casual hard rock listener, it'd be like, oh, it's all metal. It'd be like, no. Thrash is thrash. Yeah. New metal is new metal. Death metal is death metal. Black metal is black metal, right? Like, and there's very clear ways to define it. And him putting that out just felt like a very lazy attempt at trying to make what he might have thought was authentic house music, was the closest thing that people called it. But if Toronto has a house vibe and he hit that on the mark, I'm just not aware of it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
In the same way, whenever Break My Soul came out from Act 1, from Beyonce, like, New York Vogue, New York house sounds like that. Okay. To the T. Like, New York, there was a, how like Apple Music has like the like videos and shit that they put out or whatever, because they're trying to promote Apple Music, right? Yeah. Apple Music was doing a live New Year's Eve DJ set show that you could play in your house on New Year's Eve from Brooklyn, right? You could like find it online now, like, because they released it afterwards or whatever, right? It was a Brooklyn DJ, Brooklyn warehouse party, New Year's Eve, the whole nine. Techno and techno house is huge in New York, especially in the gay community, in like the LGBT plus community. Fucking parties go off, bro. Like, I've been to a couple of them. They go off. It's a vibe, right? Break My Soul, like, that entire set for 3 hours from like 11 or from like 10 to midnight or whatever the fuck it was, like that DJ was spinning record. Yeah. That whole set was New York techno house, and almost all of the Beyonce album fits that mold 100%. Right? Like, she was very clearly doing her homework about, like, who am I trying to appeal to? What kind of music do I want to make? Shit like that, right? And then you play on Honestly Nevermind to me, and I'm just like, like, you're missing the mark on a couple. You're about to get there, and then you miss it a little bit. Yeah. That's not to say that I don't think people shouldn't listen to that album. I'm just like, I'm not sure where you were going with it on a musical purist level. If you were trying to make your own sound, you also didn't make it also, right? Yeah. Like, think about like Bruno Mars and 24 Karat Magic. He's clearly channeling 70s funk.
Yeah.
Clearly. Very clearly trying to, but he's not trying to make it new. He's like, I'm going to make 70s funk music and I'm going to make it pop as fuck. And I'm just going to put some like rap pop shit lyrics on it where I'm just like, you know, you're going to want to stunt to this. It started with Uptown Funk, right? He's like, I'm going to stay true to that genre. He's not trying to like make it something different, right? So anyway, I say all that to say, for me, Kendrick. For me, I would label Kendrick the better artist, but I would label and the better lyricist for sure. But I would label Drake the better pop star. Okay. To me, Drake is like a pop star that can rap really well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to take away from Drake's rapping ability, because I do think that he is hip hop. I just also think he's fortunate enough to be a fucking mega star. Yeah. And this is part of the reason why I don't necessarily subscribe to the notion that he's a culture vulture either. Okay. I don't subscribe. I'm not sure that I sit well with that notion. That may be because I'm not black and because I may not be in those communities that like are that he's taking away from. But I also feel like you can't have it both ways. You can't have a mega. You can't say I wish pop music was like pulling from the culture, and then when they do, say, bro, but like that's some whitewatered ass, like, you know, you're not paying like true homage to it. Like, which one do you want?
Yeah. Well, I think,
you know what I mean.
I think that
like when he gets on that Brazilian song.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you could say. The fact that he even knows that artist is a big deal.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's well versed in like different artists.
He got into like UK drill for a second, right?
Yeah,
like,
well, the culture vulture aspect comes from him going to like LA and taking their lingo.
Yeah. Oh no, I get the accusation.
So that's more so the talk.
Yeah. I really just think he's been fucking everybody's girl. And that's why people are like, fuck this guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that to me feels more, that's on a personal note, I'm like, bro, you wild for that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? If you know that regardless if it's like a sneaky link or whatever, like I'm sure all those rappers are all around the same women, right? But like if you know that's Metro's girl, or like, you know what I mean? Like, or if you were really out there doing that and you the megastar and you just like, you know, you're that kind of dude and you might be a sex addict, I don't know, whatever, like whatever's going on in your personal life, if that's why they mad at you, like I would understand that. For sure. I really doubt that Metro and Future and The Weeknd and all those people are making diss songs because he's taking culture away. I'm like, no, you fuck my girl, dog, and that's why I don't fuck with you.
I don't think the discussion was ever like, that's why they were coming at him. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's what's going on because he talks about it in his raps. Like, if you really listen to like his whole like For All the Dogs thing was like
which I like that album, by the way.
It was a great album.
Yeah,
he talks a lot about like I'll take a rapper's wife and you know this and that. So it's like it's very well known. Like a lot of the things that he
likes women. There's no that's no secret.
And that's cool, right? But I think the beef isn't really more so like about culture. I think they all have like real issues, like him and The Weeknd. I mean, that shit goes way back to like after Take Care when he didn't sign to Drake. Yeah. And then he came out and said,
The Weeknd by himself is a fucking megastar too, bro. Like The Weeknd, 100%. Like that was a smart move on The Weeknd's part. Yeah. Because I don't think The Weeknd would have ever turned into The Weeknd had he stayed with Drake. No. And that may be a point on the culture vulture part. If I don't know if I'm making a point for that, but because they're from Canada. But like Magic Jordan's also from Canada. Yeah. And like
he just doesn't get a push.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But like would The Weeknd have gotten the push?
Well, he has Party Next Door, but I don't know.
Party Next Door. And his album just came out. I don't know. I haven't bumped it.
Well, you know? Yeah, I haven't either. Well, mainly because I'm not really into his music like that. It's too like I can do R&B sometimes, but I don't want to.
But like I don't know if The Weeknd would have ever made. I don't know if Starboy. Yeah. I don't know if The Weeknd ever gets with Daft Punk. Yeah. If he stays with Drake. True. The Weeknd clearly had aspiration. Like he knew like I've got this sound, I've got this vibe, I've got this lyrical content, but like I also want to tap into very specific sounds. Yeah. And to the point I'm making about like authenticity, he went and got the dudes that did it. Yeah. I like that robotic techno sound. I'm gonna go get the dudes that did it. And he gets with Daft Punk for Starboy. You know what I mean? Whereas like Drake maybe likes house music, maybe. I hope so, because house music is dope. But I'm not sure he went in to get it from the people that were making it.
Well,
you know
the
what I mean?
person who helped produce the album, I think, was this guy named Carnage. So I don't know what kind of music he produces, but I know he's a DJ for like that type of genre.
Yeah. The caveat that I will make about Honestly Nevermind is that there may be a genre of house music that I'm not aware of that fits that mold perfectly.
Yeah.
But to my understanding, when I listened to it, I was like, this isn't house, this isn't techno, I don't know what this is. It feels like demos of stuff that could go somewhere if you add the right instrumentation, but it's just not there yet.
So,
you know?
I like to listen to music when I don't like to be like, I think there's times when you can be very analytical and like critical of music, but for the most part, if I'm listening to music, it's like while I'm working or traveling.
Yeah.
So I try not to be like too over analytical and be like, you know,
which I think most people are like that.
Yeah, because like I'm not like you, who's a, you know, like I'm not a musician. I don't, you know, I listen to music for its substance, for, you know, the everything.
But just vibe.
But just vibe, yeah. 100%. So like, without analyzing it and without being like, this isn't like the genre you said it was, can you listen to the album and be like, this is okay or this is good, without being like, this isn't house or whatever?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Is that just how your mind works?
I think it would be like you listening to somebody that's trying to make country music and is like and has like little it'll be like if somebody tries to make country music and they just put a violin in there because they think it's country, and you listen to it and you're like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Are you trying to be country? Because if you're trying to be country, it's bad country.
Yeah.
Are you trying to make your own thing? In which case, I don't think you've nailed it yet. Or you know what I mean? You just wouldn't be able to help it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well,